Here it is, everyone. The video on the player that I want more than anyone to join Arsenal this summer. Okay, within reason. Mbappe would have been great. Isak would have been amazing. But I think Kudus is attainable. I don't know. But a player that is a difference maker, and maybe for the right money a deal could be done. But West Ham, we know that they'd make it difficult, as we saw with Declan Rice, and rightly so, because they only signed him a year ago and he has been an utter revelation for West Ham. I think he's been very underrated, in fact. I think a lot of people are praising the work he did at West Ham, but not enough. I think this is a player who's waiting to explode and go on more levels and can one day be called world class. Genuinely, I really believe he's that good. And I'm going to try and explain to you why. But first and foremost, you might be wondering, James, are we even linked to this guy? Not really this summer, I'll be honest. I don't think we have been at all, apart from fans maybe mentioning in conversation. What we have seen, though, is that in the past, last summer in particular, Arsenal did want to sign him for PSR issues, couldn't get it done, or at least that's according to Team News and Ticks, who's been incredibly reliable with lots of Arsenal information, transfers, and team news related, and all sorts. Go follow him on X. You probably already do, but his Patreon's there, where he gives transfer updates as well. So, the player himself, Mohamed Kudus, there's 3 reasons I want him. I'm going to break them down right here in this table, where essentially the 3 reasons are that he's got versatility in the front 3. He scores a variety of goals. We're going to talk about his goals and analyse them as well. But the big thing as well, I'm just going to say now on the line and sort of get it out of the way, because we're going to focus on the other 2 more, is that he's very experienced for a young player. I mean, he's 23 years old, but he's played for a massive club in Ajax, and he's played a whole season of Premier League football and in Europe with West Ham and looked really, really good. So even though he's 23, there's a player there who can... He comes to Arsenal, if we were to sign him, having played for big clubs and in the league that we want him to prove he can sort of do something in. So I think from that sense he's covered. But let's talk about the other things, which are the versatility and the variety of goals. So firstly, with his versatility, I've got here from Transfermarkt. I mean, have you seen more versatility than this, in terms of he's literally got 40 appearances in central midfield, 14 as an attacking midfielder, 40 on the right wing, and 40 as a striker. It's only out on the left where he's sort of played significantly less football, but even there he looks, he's played there for West Ham very recently and he looks pretty comfortable out on the left. So to me, that is an incredibly varied set of stats and appearances across all positions. It's incredibly balanced, and it tells you that he can play across all those positions fairly comfortably. Now, why is it important that he's versatile? I'm going to give you 3 more reasons here, starting with the fact that if he were to come in as, call it Saka depth, well, he's not going to necessarily be a sub. And this is a great point that was made, I think, by Alex on the Different Knock, which is that if you're going to sign depth for Bukayo Saka, a right winger to come in, well, who do you get that's good enough, that is a £50 million player that can play to near the level of Bukayo Saka, but is happy to be on the bench most of the time and probably not really play out on the left or up front in the way that Mohamed Kudus can? This is what Kudus adds, which is a sense that, okay, if you sign him, just because Saka's firing doesn't mean you're not getting use out of Kudus, because he could play out the left, or he could play as a centre forward or a false 9 as well. That versatility is massive because it makes the transfer fee make more sense, and it makes the move make more sense for the player as well. I've also got here that he's a left-footed option on the wing. Trossard, Martinelli, predominantly right-footers who want to cut inside or want to play their best football in more central areas. Kudus could, on the left wing, go round the outside, especially when you've got 2 inverted fullbacks that are likely to be right-footers in Tomiyasu and Timber. Both can use their left, and particularly Tomiyasu, but Kudus gives you that other option to go around the outside in a more Leroy Sané at Man City-esque kind of way, if you know what I mean. And then the other thing I've got is that he strengthens the striker position. I mean, we're all talking about needing a striker, we're all talking about needing some help for Kai Havertz up top. Well, Kudus can allow you to do that in a not just a false 9 way, but also someone who can lead the line, who can make runs in behind, who can use his strength and his ability back to goal to give us something else up front that's a little bit different to what Kai Havertz offers. So he adds depth out on the right wing without being a sub. He's a left-footed option on the wing, and he can be more options up front, which I think we all agree we need. Let's look at his output in more detail, because as you can see from his last season at West Ham, 8 goals and 6 assists in the Premier League, very decent output. 18 goals in all competitions for West Ham is really, really good. 7 assists there. If you look at his stats by club, at Ajax he had 27 goals and 12 assists in 87 appearances, which isn't too bad considering he played a lot of those minutes in central midfield and in sort of, deeper areas away from the front three as well. At West Ham, 14 goals and 6 assists in 45 appearances. So actually, I'm not 100% sure why. Oh, because it looks like it doesn't include the Europa League qualifying goals. Apologies for that as well. So there you go. Those are his numbers there. And as you can see in his time at Ajax, you can also see that he played, or his last season at Ajax before he moved to West Ham, you can see that he did get 7 goals, 4 assists as a right winger, but actually he was incredibly productive with the 9 goals and 2 assists up front as well for Ajax. So yes, he played his best football out on the right for West Ham, actually moving Jared Bowen into a more central area. That's how good he was, that West Ham's best player got moved out of position. But he can do things up front as well, and I think that is something that Arsenal would definitely utilise if they had him in the squad. Now, there's a couple more things to talk about in terms of, you're probably all going, James, these numbers are good, but they're not amazing. Where's the evidence, let's say? Where's the data that shows that he can blow up into some superstar forward that Arsenal are looking to add this summer to get the big titles over the line, the Premier League, the Champions League and all that? Well, I want to show you this graphic here that looks at Salah, Mane and Jota before their moves to Liverpool and after their moves to Liverpool, their numbers at Liverpool, should I say, in terms of their minutes per goal. Because Salah, Mane and Jota all had around 200 minutes per goal before they joined Liverpool, but their minutes per goal went to 134 for Salah, 180 for Mane and 151 for Jota, all bettering their numbers once they made the move to play under Jurgen Klopp and at Anfield. And with all due respect to Roma, Wolves and Southampton, the move to the bigger club and the move to a side that created more chances and were just a better team in general saw their minutes per goal improve drastically. They exploded as goal scorers and output machines under Jurgen Klopp, and I believe that the same could happen for Mohamed Kudus. I honestly believe he's the next player that's waiting to, make that jump from, again, West Ham fans don't get upset with me, but make that jump from mid-table / Europa League football to Champions League football and blow up into an absolute superstar. I really believe he's that good. Now you're all going, okay, but that was all under Jurgen Klopp. What about under Mikel Arteta? Well, as you can see from this headline here, Pep Guardiola did claim that Mikel Arteta is responsible for Raheem Sterling's stunning form, and we've heard this a lot, that Arteta works brilliantly with wingers. Martinelli's got better under Arteta, Saka's got better under Arteta, Trossard's arguably got better under Arteta, and I think the same would happen with Mohamed Kudus. He would get even better at Arsenal and even better under a manager like Mikel Arteta. I think we get the best out of him. So I'm absolutely convinced that he could make a massive, massive step forward and a massive jump if he were to come to Arsenal. Now let's look at his goals and assists from the season just gone by for West Ham. And in purple, or the claret, maroon, what's the exact, whatever colour you want to call that, we've got his goals, and in the light blue, we've got his assists. Now the first thing I want to show is actually that he clearly favours this area of the pitch, doesn't he? He clearly wants to be in that sort of inside right channel, getting into these Mo Salah-esque areas. A lot of goals from inside the box, but actually quite a few from outside the box too. He does have a strike from distance. Some of those great goals we're going to talk about as well. Even this goal he scored here, he made the run from the right and then took it around the keeper, or sort of took the keeper away from goal a little bit before finding that far corner. But he's managed to get assists predominantly from that left-hand side as well. He's had some really good assists from here where he's been able to find the back post, but I really liked the assist where he drove to the byline and cut it across late in the season for West Ham. I can't remember who they beat, but a really good assist there too. Now if we just move him to this left-hand side, this was the assist against Newcastle where he found a lovely ball into Bowen before Bowen went on and scored, but he's also been able to find assists like against Everton where he found Souček at the back post, and here against Liverpool where he was able to find Bowen for a goal to put West Ham 1-0 up. So Kudus has shown that he can be productive out on the left-hand side as well. He's shown that he can use his left foot to be more creative, which makes sense because when you're driving into this area of the pitch, he's going to be on his left foot to get balls into the box more, and you can imagine that cut back to Erdegaard, couldn't you? Like, he would have a lot of fun with that. But I just think that there's a player there who you can see on his right foot, he predominantly wants to get those shots of goal more inside, but he can use the left touchline a lot as well. Now he's a player that scores goals with his right foot, that's worth saying too. He's not just a player that would do everything on his left foot, but you can see how on that left-hand side he could add something in terms of a crossing element and outside, from out to in element that Arsenal maybe don't have with Martinelli and Trossard, who try to do it but often want to gravitate into more central areas as well. And just some of the goals he scored, I mean, I've shown you a list here, these sublime goals he scored that just show you what a moment's player he can be. The goal against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup was incredible when he took that touch, you know, that ball over the top, took the touch to bring him inside of Zinchenko and find the far corner. The goal against Brentford with the bicycle kick, the goal against Wolves from distance as well, and the goal against Freiburg when he ran through the whole team. Carries is something that Arsenal lack in central areas, and Kudus scored a goal where he literally drove at the heart of a team and put it into the back of the net. Players that can do things out of nothing are so valuable, and Mohamed Kudus can do that. Out of absolutely nothing, he can produce a moment of magic from outside the box, bicycle kick, dribbling through the whole team, whatever it is, he can do it. Running to the touchline and dragging your team all the way towards goal, Kudus can provide that. And I think Arsenal do need a little bit more of that to take the weight off of Bukayo Saka and other players that are expected to do it a little bit more. Guys, I think Kudus is special. I really think he's a special player. Like I mentioned, can play across the front three, is young, is versatile, which I sort of mentioned that first point, can score goals and have moments out of nothing, but he's also got this strength and this give me responsibility side to his game that I love. I felt at the Etihad where West Ham was struggling against Man City on the final day, he was the one who looked after the ball. He was the one who, you know, had 2-3 players around and would dribble pass back into space and get West Ham out of trouble. He was the one who said, give it to me, I will be the one who makes something happen. And then he scores a bicycle kick again against Man City. 2 bicycle kicks in a season, people. Like, he could produce the big moments out of nothing. He could be the one who says, things aren't going right, give it to me. Or this game's a little bit awkward, this game needs a little bit of magic, I will deliver that. And I think those players are so rare and so hard to find, which is why I would do everything to bring Mohamed Kudus to Arsenal this summer. 85 million. I don't know. West Ham fans might say absolutely no chance we want 100 million, and I'd understand it, because I can't rate him this much and then be mad at West Ham for demanding that much money. But yeah, it would be double, and if not more than double, what we would have paid last summer for him. But I think he's that good, and I think it's a deal that we should definitely try and do if we can. Do I think it will? Unfortunately, after all this, probably not, because I don't see West Ham selling after 1 year. I think they'll want to back the new manager, and I think ultimately I don't see Arsenal spending 85 million on that forward. Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe that's a question for another video. Hope you've enjoyed this, everyone. Let me know your thoughts on Kudus in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown, and let me know your thoughts about the fixture list as well that came out. We did a little bit of analysis on that and talked about the latest transfer rumours in Wednesday's video, so go check that out if you missed it. Otherwise, please subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content and you want to be kept up to date with more of it, and go check out all the other videos on the channel so you can be kept up to date with all the latest Arsenal news. Many thanks.